nothing else in Palm Harbor. There was the chamber, and that's it.
Huh.
You know, no,
When did you come here?
86, I
Oh,
believe.
so you were right a couple years after I. Oh, there was nothing up here when I came here.
Oh, yeah,
Couldn't even
yeah.
find a place to order a pizza. That was crazy.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
how much time?
Give me like a 20-second head up or something, or just so I could take my last sip of water.
I'm waiting for. I'm going to do a teaser, and then they have the open. Hi everyone, welcome into My Chamber TV, the heartbeat of our community. Today we are featuring Upper Tampa Bay Chamber. My colleague here, Jerry Custin, is going to be joining me to co-host. We have a great lineup. We'll be right back. Hi everyone, welcome into My Chamber TV, the heartbeat of our community. I can't believe it has been so long since I was with my colleague here doing our show. We have a great show lineup today. Wait till you see, it is the Upper Tampa Bay Chamber, and we just happen to have retired chiropractor who's joining us. Ken, welcome. You said to call you Ken instead of Dr. Peluso.
Absolutely, I like informalities.
And how long have you been a chiropractor in the area?
I've been a chiropractor for, well, since 1986.
Oh, very good. But you're very active in the community, I see.
Yes, when I got here in 1986, I got involved with the Palm Harbor Chamber of Commerce. Palm Harbor's unincorporated. So I got involved with the Palm Harbor Chamber and subsequently with the Oldsmar, now Upper Tampa Bay Chamber, and then it was the Oldsmar Chamber. And honestly, it was the only thing I ever did to build my business, to build my practice.
You were saying that just before the show.
I never advertised. I never did anything other than get involved with the Chamber of Commerce. It is absolutely by far the best way to build a business, in my case, the practice. It's the only thing I've ever done.
And so you've been a member for about how long?
Well, 1986, so we're looking at 30 years.
Wow, that speaks for itself. So what is it about the chamber that helped you grow your business, if that's the only thing that you've done?
Understand. Well, it's all about building relationships. Honestly, you become involved. Now, I believe the first committee, you can't just come to a meeting and expect any kind of results or get a whole bunch of satisfaction. You know, you have to literally become involved. I think the first committee I got on was the education committee, and wound up chairing that, and then got on the board of directors and subsequently became president, you know, a number of years down the road. But essentially, you meet people. They find out what you do, you find out what they do, you know, and eventually when they need your service, in my case, when someone needed a chiropractor, they would call me. You know, it's all about building relationships, and it goes beyond just building your business. It's really the whole community, you know, so you're getting to know everything about the community's getting to know everything about you, and it's really the grassroots organization that makes up makes an area a true community.
And I'll tell you a very practical reason why Chambers is a great fit for chiropractors. Because at Chambers, we do a lot of arm twisting.
That's a good one. That is really a good one. I don't know, though. I mean, does it really take arm twisting? I mean,
Not really.
Listen to this testimonial, 30-some years.
Exactly.
I mean, that really says it all, doesn't it?
He couldn't do a better job, because that's what I've told our board of directors is, we do an awful lot of stuff, and you can make it as complex as you want, but it all boils down to one word, and that's relationships based on trust and integrity. And when we tell our members, and Ken will tell you that we tell them, if you're in here for a return on investment, you're to the wrong place. It's a return on involvement. And the investment comes after the involvement.
That is so true.
You put that absolutely perfectly, and that is what it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I hear that through all the chambers. It's a commonality with all the chambers is getting involved
Yep.
and building that relationship through integrity and trust. And I love to
Absolutely.
hear that because it works.
Yeah.
Hello. It really works. Now, I also understand that you're also very involved in community affairs, and you're also involved with the Pinellas School Board. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, over the years, as I got more involved with education first, back in the, I guess this was the mid-'80s or so, I also became more involved in other organizations. I was elected as Palm Harbor Fire Commissioner a couple times back in, a number of years ago. But education was really sort of my pet peeve, my passion, what I noticed that our communities and our businesses needed to be more involved with our schools. And so I started, a few of us started the Palm Harbor Foundation, which gives scholarships, started a student award program recognizing local high school, there are 4 or 5 North County high schools, monthly awards and then annual awards. Started getting involved in business advisory councils at school. Numerous capacity over the year, and then a number of years ago was appointed by the governor to chair the Early Learning Coalition of Pinellas County. So I did that for 6 years, and then I was appointed to the Early Learning Advisory Council, which is a statewide committee and deals with all the funding and the programs and the protocols for all our early learning programs statewide. And then I sold my practice in 2013, and 6 weeks later, the incumbent resigned, and I ran for the school board and was elected in November of 2014.
That's awesome. So you don't let any grass grow under your feet, that's for sure.
No, I wouldn't know what to do if I had any.
Oh, that's so great, because I mean, it's almost like a perfect segue. Once you retire from your practice, you've already been involved in the community, so it's a perfect fit.
Right,
Exactly.
and what got me involved in education was the realization at that time, again, we were in mid-late 80s, that our communities and more so our businesses needed to more strongly support our schools.
Sure.
And I think that's so important, and I think that's what I sort of bring to the board, that community background, that budget background, that business background, and I think that's really important, because our career and educational programming at Pinellas County is wonderful. It's really, we're recently in the national spotlight for it, but it needs to be more. It needs to be, and that's one of my largest priorities.
And we'll be challenging Ken really hard with our manufacturings on that career development.
Oh my goodness,
tell
that's
you
so
what.
true. Yeah, because you're all about that.
It's big time.
Oh, it's so important. You know, it's important for our students, because our students need to have the skills to excel in their careers.
Yes.
But it's important for our community, because our schools need to make sure we have the training that is going to meet the needs of the community. Our workforce demands have to be met.
Of course.
So it's imperative that we increase communication with our business community, so that we have the programs. Well, number one, we identify the needs, and then we have the programs available that offer the training that will meet the demands for those careers. And business community is heavily involved. Pinellas Education Foundation in Pinellas County is wonderful. I've personally seen Jerry walk the halls of the administration building in Largo, advocating for additional communication between the business community
No
and our
doubt.
school system.
And it's interesting, because I was on a statewide panel a couple of weeks ago over in Orlando to talk about what businesses want out of education. And I told them, I'll tell you what, training is the third thing. Okay? The first thing they want is basically a work ethic.
Yes.
And I don't know how we build that back into the school. And then they want the soft skills, because too many of the kids now are coming out, and the only way they can communicate is with their thumbs. And they want people that can speak to each other one-to-one.
I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you.
And take directions.
Yes.
And then the second thing they want is some core skills, decision-making, and things of that nature. But then and only then do they really care about what the guts of the training is. So we got to get those other two foundations back in the system.
I am so glad to hear you say that, because that's been one of my biggest pet peeves, because, you know, you lose relationship and communication. I mean, and it goes on if it isn't nipped in the bud here,
Right.
because it's, well, that's
Right.
a whole
Whole
all
other
day
topic.
long
Whole
discussion
other
on
topic.
that. But I'm glad you guys are working on that. That's really nice.
So it's important. That's my biggest priority in our district.
Well, I tell you, it's great to have you on the show, and
my pleasure.
congratulations on your sort of retirement. It sounds like you're really out there still working, but
I had 6 weeks. That was enough.
oh, 6 weeks. What'd you do for 6 weeks? Anything exciting?
Now, honestly, no. Return emails and phone calls, and
For
that's
6
about
weeks?
it.
Oh, no wonder you went out. You're back into the community and everything. Sounds like you never really left, but
No.
I tell you, it's so great to have you guys come on and talk about what's happening in the community. It's great to share with you out there because, I mean, after all, Pinellas County Schools, I mean, I live in Pinellas County, and although I raised my kids up here in Pasco
Right.
County, they did very well for themselves. But you know, you have to have a community that is involved. I was always involved with my kids' education and raising them and all that, because then it's that give and take, and you build that relationship with your own family.
You bet.
So it's critical. It was really critical. So you're running for the school board again?
Yes, election is this Tuesday.
This Tuesday. All right. Well, good luck with it, and I hope to see you again.
Oh,
Thanks for
thank
coming
you.
on the
I would
show.
absolutely love to.
And we're going to be right back in just a few. We're going to take a little station break, and then we have more guests coming here on My Chamber TV. Thanks for joining us. We'll be right back.
Everyone's story is different, so why be limited to just one or two options? With Norcom's Norflex Home Loan, you're given the flexibility to tell your story. Pick your terms from 8 to 30 years, all while maintaining a low, fixed mortgage rate. You can pay off your loan more quickly or choose a term based on your budget and timeline. Whatever you do with the Norflex Home Loan, make it part of your financial plan. Norflex, short-term, long-term, your terms. Apply online at norcommortgage.com.
Enjoy tranquil seclusion in an eco-lover's paradise. Paddling through the mangroves where the only sounds you'll hear are the sounds of nature. Because you deserve to relax on vacation, visit Pasco County, Florida.
Hi everyone, Welcome into My Chamber TV, the heartbeat of our community. I'm Barbara Marville, and I have Jerry Custin from the Upper Tampa Bay Chamber of Commerce. We're actually talking to members of the community that has had a career over there, and plus they are members of the Chamber. With us right now, I want to introduce Joan Vecchioli. Did I get it right?
You did.
All right. Welcome. Now, you have a very interesting law practice, and I want to hear more about it. I also want to hear about your involvement with the community and as a result of being a member of the Chamber of Commerce, wherever you would like to start.
Okay, well, thank you, Barbara. I have been a practicing attorney for the last 30 years. I'm with a law firm, Johnson Pope, that's based in Clearwater. We're the largest North Pinellas County law firm, actually largest Pinellas County-based law firm with over 50 attorneys. And we have 3 offices in Clearwater, Tampa, and St. Petersburg. My practice focuses on labor and employment issues, and I'm board certified in labor and employment law. I mostly defend companies that get in trouble on various issues, whether it be wage and hour, sexual harassment, discrimination, and breaches of contracts, non-compete agreements, that kind of thing. And I've been involved with the Upper Tampa Bay Chamber for the past 12
About
years.
12 years, yeah.
At the trustee level, and have gotten to know Jerry and many of the other key executives in our area have been involved. I've given some seminars to the Chamber on labor and employment issues.
And to our manufacturers, too.
Very good.
We've had some peer-to-peer meetings where high-level execs can share some problems that they're having in their business, and we can brainstorm and try to get together and troubleshoot those. And that's been, very rewarding. And I've been involved in many other community organizations and been involved in boards of schools and the Bar Association, and just been very active in the Pinellas County community for a long time.
That's great.
And
Wow.
she's being humble. You ought to ask her about an award she just got.
What award did you just get?
Thank you, Jerry. I was just named by the Best Lawyers publication as Lawyer of the Year for 2017, representing management in Pinellas County.
Oh, congratulations!
On the labor and employment side, so thank you.
That is, and that has to be very, very interesting law. And to go out there and educate, to kind of, help them with what to do, what not to do, the do's and don'ts and all that.
Right. Well, I love the counseling part of my job because I'm collaborating mostly with business owners and leaders about how to solve a problem they may have. Of course, if it's past a point of resolution, we'll also defend them if the case goes to court. We try to keep it out of court if possible. But I really do enjoy, the counseling and problem solving. Oftentimes an employee has a situation where if we get in there and we interview the right people, we can figure out what's going on and the best way to solve it. And my firm is a full-service law firm that caters to the business person. And so typically we can direct them, if it's not me, to someone else in the law firm that can help them with whatever kind of problem they're having.
That specializes in that particular.
Whether it's intellectual property or corporate structure and planning, estate planning, real estate, etc.
That's great. That is pretty well-rounded, I would say.
It's been very rewarding. It's been very challenging. The one thing I like about labor and employment is that there's never a dull moment.
I was going to say.
Oftentimes I would come back from on-site interviews with tape recordings, and I'd have a word processor. You remember back in the day when people actually typed what other people said, and they would always, look forward to listening to my tapes because it was a little more interesting than the run-of-the-mill legal problems that we would get into.
Oh, wow. That is exciting. 30 years. Wow. What made you become an attorney? Did you see that coming as you were growing up as a child?
When I was younger, of course, they told me I like to argue.
Right.
And so that was a sign. There were lots of exciting law shows on TV back then that got my curiosity. But the one program that I thought was wonderful was, it's called the Explorer Program. It's part of the Boy Scouts. And they would come into our local schools and take different careers
Well, I'd never heard this
that
part.
kids were interested in, and actually provide a forum for them to explore those various interests. And I got involved when I was in junior high school in an Explorer post, and they exposed us to law and the courts, and that's kind of what sold me on the career.
Oh,
Wow.
that kind of clinched it for you.
And when I was a young lawyer, one of the organizations that I got involved in was an Explorer post for high school students in the
Wow.
Clearwater area to try to pass that on to them as well.
That's exciting.
I'm glad you asked that question. I never heard that part of the story.
You know what? I had another a family law attorney, and I asked her a similar question because everybody has a story.
Right.
I asked her that same question, and she said, growing up, sure enough,
There you
she
go.
was a debater. She always
Right.
debated anything that the family or
Right.
anybody was
Right.
talking about.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
Yeah, my father was a scientist. He kind of wanted me to go in that direction. I'm not sure he was all that thrilled with me becoming an attorney, but I think he wound up being proud at the end of the day.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's really exciting, and you've been a member with the chamber for
A
that.
dozen years, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And like I said, we joined at the trustee level, and so we get involved in some strategy, planning, and bringing legislative issues
Oh,
and
yeah.
challenges, planning, transportation, things that are facing our community that we feel it'd be nice to get on the front end of and have business community leaders
Exactly.
come together.
Joan is very innovative because, you know, at the trustee level, we're dealing with our bigger businesses.
Of course.
People looking at the bigger picture.
Yes.
And sometimes it's really tough to get an agenda together month after month and doing that. So Joan is very creative, and I'll turn to her and say, okay, Joan, I'm running out of ideas. Give me some ideas. So Joan is extremely creative at doing that and keeping us on track.
So what is your favorite idea that you've thrown out there to Jerry? Is there a lot of them?
Yeah, I mean, they come all the time.
Well, what was one of the more recent things we were talking about was I think just trying to do a little bit more strategic planning, you know, as a trustee group. And one of the things that's the most rewarding for me as an attorney is I'm not interacting with other attorneys in this organization.
Right.
These are business leaders and people that have all different points of view and perspectives.
Sure.
And most of the things I've done in my legal career outside of practice have been involved with folks that do things other than practice law. So I get as much, you know, from listening
yeah.
to them and their perspectives
Oh,
as the
yeah.
other way around. So I think we were talking a little bit more about maybe visiting the sites
That's what I was gonna-
of our members,
Yeah.
but you can elaborate
Yeah, that's
on
what I was
that.
going to say, because I would try to get speakers and try to get them from all different occupations and levels and things. And Joan, like she said at the beginning of our program, we had a lot of peer-to-peer, but we got away from that. And Joan says, well, why don't we go back and visit the companies right on her site and learn more about their businesses in an in-depth level. And that's what we've been doing. And I guess what we've done that with Tampa Community Hospital. So 2 months ago, we all went through Tampa Community Hospital. The city of Oldsmar has walked us through their strategic planning. So it's really working out.
Well, that way you get a chance, obviously, to engage
Yeah.
even deeper within the community
Exactly.
and know more about, to be
Exactly.
able to educate the residents more
Absolutely.
as well. I love
Absolutely.
that.
Right. And of course, we have fun once a year. We
Oh,
have
yeah.
our annual trustee holiday party at the
Tampa Bay Downs.
Tampa Bay Downs.
When the
So-
Tampa Bay Downs opens, they let us use their party suite. And,
Oh, nice.
yeah, so
Nice.
So it's a very nice day there where everybody really gets to network at a much deeper level.
Oh, it sounds like you guys have a lot of fun and you accomplish things by
Yeah.
doing exactly what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's a very collegial group, and I feel that Jerry always has some insight and inspiration for us to think about. Things that we can take back. For example, marketing is not something that we're typically taught as attorneys. And so when you're interacting in a business community and you think about how other folks market their businesses, you know, we get a lot of ideas as well.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Well, and again, getting out there and talking with people, it's you were saying building relationships
Building
right
relationships,
there.
it's all about
Right.
relationship.
Yeah,
Right.
going to the coffees, going to the mixers. And even if you can't attend a lot of them or all of them, even getting out a few times in a month is better than not doing anything and then looking back at your membership and feeling like nothing worked. So it's about putting a little skin into the game, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
And I think our monthly luncheons are typically very substantive. So we're learning about what's going on in our community as much as we're building relationships and interacting with each other.
Exactly.
That's the thing I think I enjoy the most about it.
And how would you know what your needs are if you don't get involved?
Right.
And then I told Joan today I just was able to secure our next one for September, and we're going to bring down a speaker from the Florida Chamber who's on their political advisory commission. So he'll be talking about the upcoming elections at a much deeper level than we're normally going to hear.
Well, that's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I have to tell you, you are just such a delight to come on and talk about, I mean, that's a lot of years being an attorney, and obviously it's something that you love to do, and in a very, very, how do I want to say, interesting area of law,
Thank
but also
you.
to be involved with the chamber and all. What did you think of when Jerry asked you to come on the TV show?
I wasn't sure what to expect, but I've learned over the years that Jerry never steers me in the wrong direction.
Oh, boy.
So I typically follow his lead, and it's a positive outcome.
There you go.
So
Well,
I'm
good.
happy to have done that today as well.
Well, we're glad to have you. And I
Thank
want to
you.
thank you for joining us. We'll have to have you back at some point.
Okay, thank you, Barbara.
Well, it's time for us to take another little break, and when we come back, we have more right here on My Chamber TV. Don't go anywhere.
Enjoy tranquil seclusion in an eco-lover's paradise. Paddling through the mangroves where the only sounds you'll hear are the sounds of nature. Because you deserve to relax on vacation, visit Pasco County, Florida.
Everyone's story is different, so why be limited to just one or two options? With Norcom's Norflex Home Loan, you're given the flexibility to tell your story. Pick your terms from 8 to 30 years, all while maintaining a low, fixed mortgage rate. You can pay off your loan more quickly or choose a term based on your budget and timeline. Whatever you do with the Norflex Home Loan, make it part of your financial plan. Norflex, short-term, long-term, your terms. Apply online at norcommortgage.com.
everyone. Welcome into My Chamber TV, the heartbeat of our community. I'm Barbara Marville Kelly, and with me is Jerry Custin from the Upper Tampa Bay Chamber of Commerce. We're having a lot of fun today with our guests.
Here we are.
It is exciting.
We keep up right now, I'll tell you that.
I know, I tell you. Now, we're going to introduce AJ Aluthwala.
You got it.
See, I got it again, second time, right on. How about that? You're a new member to the Chamber.
I am. Just joined in April. I'm actually new to Tampa as well. Moved down here from Wichita, Kansas. And right we were coming down as we were moving. One of the first things I did was I actually made a call to the chamber, and thought that I gotta make sure that I'm a chamber member, and got myself signed up, and it's been great.
How about that? So, is it hot enough here for you?
I love it. Our family likes it and enjoys it. We definitely enjoy the weather and having not much of a season change. So
yeah, there's not much of a season change, that's for sure. Now, tell me about is it KallistoArt
Yep.
and Design? What is that?
We develop websites, we do mobile apps, search engine optimization, graphics design. So there's a really neat backstory behind the name Callisto. According to Greek mythology, there's a maiden name, Calliste, spelled with a C, who is a very beautiful maiden. And Callisto in Greek means most beautiful. And creating most beautiful art form on the web is our passion, and that's how the name KallistoArt came into play.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Well, thank you.
So what makes yours different? Is it do you do something like different with your web designs and that?
Yes, I would say the biggest thing which is different about us is the relationship we have with our customers. As we all know, anybody can just go online and create a website using the tools which are out there. There are a lot of DIY type tools which you can use and create your own site, but I would say 90% of the work we have done is for people who already had a website and they were not happy with it. Maybe they created the site when they were just getting started with their business, or they had a relative created it, or they created it themselves. And when they want to take the next step, that's when they talk to us, and we give them something which is not just attractive, which is not just custom, but it's also functional, and it really just gets them a lot of business.
And relationship building we were just talking about.
Yeah.
So you win a star for the right answer on that one. But it's true, if you can't build your customer base with a good relationship, and they can't come to you, or you just throw up a website and be done with it, that's not really good customer service. So it sounds like you're going to do very well here.
Absolutely. For us, getting our customers a website is not the end, it's really the start. Yes. And from a business perspective also, with this day and age, getting a website, it used to be just the end for your online presence, but now it's really the start. So, and you got to make sure that your branding is in tune with your website, your business cards, the brochures you produce, the social media marketing you do. If you have a mobile app, that too. So making sure everything comes around and has that branded look is very important. And without having that relationship, without knowing what the business goals for the business in the next year, in 5 years, in 10 years, if you are just creating a website, you've just created a kind of a placeholder, which is really not going to get you much out of it. And the question I ask my customers is, would you spend money on something which is not going to do anything for you? So if you really think about it, you can create a website yourself, but if it is not going to do anything for you,
right,
then what's
Why
the good
do
in
it?
doing?
What's the point? It may
What's
look
the-
pretty and all that, but
Yeah.
there's a lot behind the scenes. I wouldn't even think of creating a website myself. That's just not my thing.
Well, we were talking earlier. He mentioned mobile apps. You got all these little devices and things. So, like you said, he wants it to be the most beautiful you can, the most functional you can, to draw interest and things of that nature. Now, when it goes mobile, every time he does one of those, and it takes a lot of work to do all of that, he's got to redo it again because there's a difference on how it fit two different platforms
Right.
in in the iPhones and in the Androids. See, everything you got to do double.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And I learned that through having our website designed. And I mean, there's could be still people out there that want to know, what is a phone app? I mean,
Yeah. Right.
I was there not that long ago,
Right.
but now I understand that it's really not user friendly for a telephone, your iPhone or what have you. So it's always good to have that. And the branding is so important in that consistency with your look, right?
Absolutely. And if you really think about it, when you're creating a mobile app, you're really creating two apps for the Android platform and the Apple platform. And these are two different systems. And when it comes to branding, we got to really jump through hoops and jump over hurdles to make sure that everything looks the same in these two platforms. And over the years, we have created over 20 apps. And I should really say 40 apps, because for each app, you got to create two apps.
Sure.
So the apps have been deployed around the world. I should say have been created for clients around the world. We've created apps and even websites for folks in places like Singapore, Australia, Canada as well.
That's great. That's really great. So how do you think the Chamber's going to help you?
Oh, Chamber has been just great. From the moment I joined, everyone was there to help me out. Obviously, I'm in a new market, and I understand it takes a while for you to create business and generate interest in your products and services, and this is true for any business. And the Chamber President, Jerry Perusi, always tells me, whenever I run into him at Chamber meetings, AJ, first people need to know you, then they need to like you, then they need to trust you.
Right.
If you have those three things in, leads and eventually business will start flowing in. And I've been going to a lot of Chamber events, the relationship builder events on Friday mornings, as well as some of the informal events, the mixers, the after-hour mixers, and they've all been extremely helpful.
Yeah, it is about relationship building, because and I see that time and time again. There is also this dedicated synergy within the Chamber. Wouldn't you agree?
That's what we work for, and that was a good question I was going to ask
Yeah.
him. You called in from the blind, and I was going to ask you, did you feel welcome right away?
Absolutely, I felt very welcome, and coming in from not having that background into the Chamber environment, and thinking that, oh, it's the Upper Tampa Bay Chamber, and with the Chamber you got mom and pop type operations as well as extremely large corporations. So for new members, that's always kind of a struggle when they are making the decision of becoming a Chamber member, whether they are going to have transparency or visibility in front of all these companies and businesses. And I always felt very welcome, and Chamber members now know me and I know them, and I can think of whom I need to go to if my AC breaks down. That
See
type of
what I'm
thing.
saying? Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. I know. That's happened to me too, being involved with the Chambers and being able to call for repair service.
Well, our motto is big chamber services, small chamber feel.
Yeah.
And by doing that, and I'm glad you said what you did, because a couple characteristics that we want to push is we want to be totally inclusive and no clicks. Okay? I don't care how big we get, we want to be totally inclusive. We don't want to have any clicks. and it's got to be that way.
Do you think that's how past chambers have been, where it's a little sort of cliquish
I've
in
been
a way?
yeah. When I first got into chamber business, I did feel that as I went around to some of them, that you have your little cliques and you have your things that is
Human nature, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And talking about the support given by the chamber, I even participated at the 7th Chamber Summer Splash trade show event, which happened, I believe, in May of this year. And
June.
I'm sorry, June.
Yeah.
And that has been a good event, and I would encourage any chamber members to participate in that in the future.
Those 7 chamber events are awesome. They're great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we work with all the North Pinellas chambers.
Those are exciting. I missed this last one, but I was there at the last one. I'll probably go over to the next one. Well, I want to thank you, AJ, and give you such congratulations on being a new member of the chamber, and wishing you all kinds of good luck. I have this feeling that it's going to be very, very good experience for you here. So thank you for joining us on My Chamber TV.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. And we are just celebrating 10 years of service this year. So any new website projects or mobile app projects receive the 10% discount.
Nice.
So.
And that's a nice little chunk of change. Thank you for
Absolutely.
that. Well,
Thanks
that was
again.
great. Well, we're going to take another break, and when we come back, we have something we're going to talk about that might be a little bit tasty for you.
Oh,
So
yeah, you
stay
bet.
there.
Everyone's story is different, so why be limited to just one or two options? With Norcom's Norflex Home Loan, you're given the flexibility to tell your story. Pick your terms from 8 to 30 years, all while maintaining a low, fixed mortgage rate. You can pay off your loan more quickly or choose a term based on your budget and timeline. Whatever you do with the Norflex Home Loan, make it part of your financial plan. Norflex, short-term, long-term, your terms. Apply online at norcommortgage.com.
Enjoy tranquil seclusion in an eco-lover's paradise. Paddling through the mangroves where the only sounds you'll hear are the sounds of nature. Because you deserve to relax on vacation, visit Pasco County, Florida.
And welcome back, everyone, to My Chamber TV, the heartbeat of our community. I'm Barbara Marvel Kelly. With me is Jerry Custin, my co-host, as always, once a month, supporting the upper chamber Upper Tampa Chamber of Commerce. I almost didn't get that out.
Tampa Bay.
Anyway, we have Mike Brewster. I'm excited to talk about what Mike has to talk about because it's flavored syrups, yummy, yummy. Talk about that.
Well, where do we start?
I know, right?
Well, thank you for having me first. It's great to be here. The story's long, so I'll tell you a little bit of the story.
Okay, and that's Monin.
Monin.
Okay.
Gourmet Flavorings. Monin was founded in 1912 in Bourges, France. So we've been in existence for, that's 104 years.
Wow.
We actually worldwide, sell products into 140 plus countries. We actually have plants located in Clearwater, 2 in France, 1 in Malaysia, and 1 under construction in China. At the Clearwater facility, we bottle syrups, purees, and concentrated flavors. If you go to the website, you'll see that we also sell concentrated pure sauces and smoothies, but those are contract packaged. We actually have about 140 U.S. employees, 90 at the Clearwater facility, about 25 at our Largo distribution center, and another 25 field-based salespeople.
Wow, that's exciting. So I love flavored coffees. I love them. What makes yours different than maybe some of the other ones that are out there?
Okay, so the biggest reason is the natural ingredients. We are the leader in the category of highest percentage of products that are clean label, and working aggressively to convert formulas to where they meet all of the no's that everyone is trying to avoid these days.
I see. Like what? Like, can you give us an idea on what those no's are?
No artificial preservative would be an example.
Okay. Oh, that's great. That's wonderful.
But he's drinking quick.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's exciting. And so you've been a member of the chamber for how long?
That's funny. While I was sitting in the back room, I was trying to figure out, Jerry, the exact date of when we joined. Jerry and I crossed paths at a St. Pete College, Florida trade meeting, and really connected as far as what we're passionate about and how we're driving or want to drive improvements both at our manufacturing plant and other manufacturers in the area. Jerry invited me to be on the Upper Tampa Bay Manufacturing Association board. So I think it's been about 2 years now.
Yeah, about 2 years.
If I'm right.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So he's on our board of directors, and as a matter of fact, he's our treasurer this year.
Nice. How's the chamber helped you?
The biggest one, I would say, as kind of speaking from the manufacturing perspective, is connect us with other manufacturers in the area that are either working on the same types of things or interested in improving the same types of things. We've actually built really nice relationships with a number of companies where we have had them visit us and share best practices like training methods and ways to improve the talent base, and it's been reciprocated by us visiting their plant, taking some of our employees over, and them seeing another operation. We've been able to pick up a lot as well. The other thing that Jerry did was volunteered me for the Pinellas Coalition to Tallahassee. And not knowing much about it at the time, we were able to build some relationships with key political figures that have been instrumental in helping our business.
Really? Huh. And that's from Jerry volunteering you, huh?
That's from Jerry
I love that.
Yeah.
You rascal, you. But you know what? It all comes out really for the good.
Yeah,
and
we actually affectionately call it voluntold.
Somebody said that in a meeting I was at the other day, voluntold. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, but all joking aside, I mean, when he understands our business, he knows what our needs are, and by making that connection and pushing or giving the encouragement, it really does have an impact at the business level.
Mm-hmm.
Mike is an out-of-the-box thinker. When he's talking about the best, it's great because it pushes us.
Sure.
When he's talking about best practices, there's basically three kinds of manufacturing. There's direct manufacturing that does all hard surface stuff, and they do one type of thing. There's process manufacturing to do with liquids and gases and things of that nature. It's entirely different processes, and third, do a little bit of each. But when Mike started the best practices, who he did the best practice with was a machine shop. So you wouldn't think that the training or anything else, because they're two totally dissimilar businesses.
Right, right.
Okay? But tell them what happened.
Yeah, so that machine shop came over. They brought over some senior level people. Matter of fact, the CEO came over as part of the visit. They brought some managers and brought floor level people over. We combined similar from Monen's workforce to where we had a room of about, there were around 13 people in there. And we went around and talked about, after we did a plant tour, we said what's going well, what's not going well. And what was very interesting about it is something that wasn't going well in a syrup company oftentimes was the same thing was not going well in the machine shop. And by having the mix of people there from frontline workers through the CEO, it was amazing to brainstorm solutions. So while we thought we were just building lists of what's going well, not going well, we actually left the room with solutions to about half of the items that were on there. And by continuing to work together, we'll drive improvements or changes from the rest of them just by staying after it with the same group of participants.
Wow. I mean, two opposite companies.
Opposite.
That is exciting.
Opposite.
That's the kind of engagement that you want, being a member of a chamber. I never would have thought that was going on.
And we've actually, sorry, Jerry, but we've actually had bankers come through and look at our manufacturing plant and what best practices we're doing there. And if it doesn't happen in that meeting, they'll actually write an email back and say, you know what, those two things we saw actually apply in an office environment in the banking. And by having open-mindedness and thinking outside the box, like Jerry said, it's really astounding the types of changes and types of improvements you can make just by working together.
Yeah.
So the point I was going to make is that Mike and his job with Monen are not only a leader in the industry, but he and Monen have decided to be leaders in the community too.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
So we get a double bang there.
Exactly, and that makes all the difference in the world too. And I'm sure it helps your business by being, involved with the community and that kind of thing. Well, congratulations. And there's a high demand for these flavorings, and you brought two of my favorites out, vanilla and hazelnut. We can mix those two, can't we?
If you would like, you can mix those two. That's what everybody's doing nowadays, right? A lot of people that are want to do custom things.
Right,
So,
and experiment.
And experiment. So that puts an interesting challenge for those of us, even though we have 140 plus flavors, that does challenge us to how are we going to stay creative and innovative and meet that changing customer mindset.
How do you come up with all these new flavors? What's your most current? Give me an enticing flavor that you've just come up with.
I'd like to say that I have some credit there, but we actually have a marketing department. We also, on site in Clearwater, have a research and development group. They do extensive research every year to determine what flavors customers or consumers are looking for. Our two newest ones are cookie butter, which, if you can imagine the biscotti cookie on an airplane, that's really what the cookie butter syrup tastes like.
Oh, yum.
And if you put it in coffee and drink the coffee, it's as if you've dunked the cookies in it. So
I love it.
It does give you that nice warm feel of and a memory of that type of cookie.
Right, taps into that part of the brain and gives you that sort of comfort food or comfort drink feel. We're running out of time. I can't believe it. I want to hear about how many? 140 flavors? Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and you too, Jerry.
Well, yeah, and think about what he said about the worldwide, global stuff. Yeah. And this is the only plant that they have in the United States.
Wow.
So supplying North America, South America, and the Caribbean.
That is very exciting. Well, I'm sold. I want to hear about all those other flavors after we close the show. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll have to have you back again, too. Great lineup today, Jerry.
There you go.
All right. I'll see you next month with another guest lineup.
Already got a couple lined up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Ready
Well,
to
thank
roll.
you so much for joining us. Hopefully we have raised the awareness on what's happening in our community here with the Upper Tampa Bay Chamber, Jerry Custin, and all our great guests. I will see you next week, Wednesday, for our next Chamber show. In the meantime, have a great week. Thanks for joining us today.